Hey, a lot of people come to me because they want me to help them build them out of their business so that they've got a business that runs independently of them. And why would you want that? Well, it's the only way to have a really good lifestyle when you've got profit and the free time to do the things you love with the people you love. And to be honest, it's fairly simple to achieve that as an outcome. It's just that most business owners don't know the steps. Because they don't know the steps, they bring a whole bunch of unconscious patterns and unevolved entrepreneurial thinking into how they build their businesses. And typically, because they don't know this information, they build themselves into their businesses. So again, if you want to have way less stress, a lot more fun in life, a lot more enjoyment and fulfillment, you've just got to build a business that runs independently of you. You know, you might still decide to work in your business, like I do. I love doing what I do. I just interviewed someone for the show who loves doing what they do. But you've got to set your business up so you just do what you love, or set your business up so it runs without you. That's what we help our clients do. Now, there's a fair percentage of the business owners that come to me who have what we call a control freak pattern. And this probably goes par for the course, to be honest, because if you get into business, you are often someone that's got a vision, an idea. You don't want to live a normal life. You want freedom, and you are a person who's used to building and controlling. However, that won't allow you, that pattern won't allow you to build yourself out of the business unless you are worked with in an effective manner. And again, and I always beat on about this, but there's so many coaches out there teaching good quality strategy. And there are some coaches that teach what we teach, which is how to build yourself out of your business. However, not enough coaches in the business or investing space know enough about human behavior, and you've got to be working with people on that level or nothing shifts or changes for them. So, control freaks. If you look at control freak and they come to me and they're asking for help to build themselves out of the business, I just know I'm up to no good until I can address their control freak patterns. So what is a control freak if you think about it? Well, a control freak wants to control everything around them. Now why? Well, they're trying to mitigate risk by controlling everything around them. And, you know, again, fair enough. However, once you get a certain size business, you can't. So there's a downside of being the control freak is it's just an impossibility to control everything in business. And apart from even building yourself out of the business, just being a control freak in business once you reach a certain size is incredibly demanding on you. If you're the control freak, you're going to get stressed. You're going to get run down. You're going to be running cortisol through your system all the time because you're going to be hyper vigilant. So a control freak, when they feel like they can't control everything around them, they get fearful. They get stressed. Remember, they're trying to mitigate risk. Now, when you are building someone out of their business, the first thing that you're doing is decreasing the number of hours they work in their business so they can work on their business. We have to bring them through to what we call the conductor stage. At the conductor stage, you are like a conductor. You are controlling and allocating resources, and those resources include other people, staff, team members who now take over the roles that you were once doing so that you can spend far more time thinking strategically, learning, evolving your entrepreneurial know-how, and then developing the strategies, and then bringing that back to the team for them to implement. But a control freak, if you try to get them out of their business to reduce those hours so that they can go into the conductor role, they can't do it. They're just freaked out. I can't trust this person, I can't trust that person. And this is where we start to see the origins of this control freak pattern. On the unconscious level, usually outside of the business owner's awareness, they'll have certain belief systems, and the belief systems will always involve trust. I can't trust. I can't trust others. I can't trust life. Whatever it is, it will be I can't trust. So you can see the root cause of the control freakness is the belief system, I can't trust. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing with the client, once we sort of explain to them what we need them to do. So the first month the client works with us, as I said, you're building them out of their business so that they have more time to work on their business, putting team in place. So we're giving them the strategies, but then we have to sit down with that business owner and help them to see how much of a control freak they are. And we have to take them below their conscious awareness of self, which they can see they're a control freak, they just don't know why. So you have to help them see that on some deep level they don't trust. Now, if that person's had certain experiences growing up where they were betrayed, whether there were things that would happen that would cause them to develop a belief system like I can't trust, right, which would be a survival mechanism. If you've had lots of things happen where you've been betrayed or not gone right, it's a really beneficial belief to have I don't trust, because then you'll be more hyper alert and you'll control and you're more likely to thrive or survive. But again, as we said, that belief system is not going to support a person in growing a business, because a business that is reaching scale and able to give the business owner a good lifestyle requires good quality team members in place. So we have to take them back and help them see and understand where that lack of trust came from. And by the way, it doesn't matter having to go into childhood or things like that. It doesn't really matter where it comes from, but it helps them understand when you can connect them to this belief system, where it came from in the first place. And the unconscious starts to work for them. They start to see all the mistrust that they've probably had for their entire life, and they'll see all sorts of different ways that that's played out. Because one of the things that you've all probably experienced this, when you start self-investigating, your own unconscious will support you and start popping up memories and concepts and ideas. That's because your unconscious does want you to evolve if you're working with it. So at that point, the person's now starting to develop a real element of awareness around their mistrust and their control freak nature, but they now have a conscious goal to build themselves out of the business. So we've taken care of the awareness piece. We might also give them some reprogramming work. We have very powerful tools for reprogramming unconscious belief systems. So in this case, we're using programming that would allow them to trust more, let go more. However, there's some very strategic things that you need to do. The first thing that you have to do is ensure their team is truly trustworthy. You see, we have a recruitment system that our clients use that guarantees that anyone that comes onto the team will have the same values as a business owner. These are value systems of a high performer. So conscientiousness is the main value that will show up. And anyone with conscientiousness will have high standards, won't feel good if they make a mistake. And so we ensure for our clients that they're only bringing people onto their team with those high performer values, the conscientiousness, because then we know the team is trustworthy. And with the business owner who's working with their control freak nature, what they've got to do, now that they're aware of how much of a control freak they are, now that we've set their team up with people that are completely trustworthy, and their entire team will have trustworthy people in place, the business owner now has to push against their patterns. And as I said before, you'd be doing some reprogramming work with them, and they have to sit back and observe and watch their team. And because we've selected the right team, their team will perform for them. Even if they leave their business for a week, the team will still perform in the same way as they will if they were there. Now, what happens over time is the reality of that scenario, with the person being very aware of their control freak nature, but seeing that these people are trustworthy, it starts to rewire them so that they start to let go of, well, I can't trust. They start to have the belief system replaced. And once that belief system's replaced, their control freak nature will start to subside, and they can leave their team to do what they do best. They'll still be able to engage their control freak nature, but in another way, and that is that they will start to be monitoring the key stats in the business far more. And that's where they'll bring their control. And when they see things aren't playing out in the way that they would like, they're able to go back to their leadership team or their staff and say, hey, this is not working as well as it should. And the team and the owner will come up with solutions, but the team will go and implement it and, again, get that area back on track. Now, if you try to do this with someone that is a control freak and you don't help them understand how much of a control freak they are, and you don't help them see the mistrust belief systems that sit on the unconscious level that drive that control freak on the conscious levels, you'll have all this team in place, you'll put all the strategies in place, but they'll just project their mistrust onto good quality staff because they can't see. They're not separate from their belief systems. They're not separate from their control freak nature. So it's the awareness that matters. Without the awareness, it will be an unconscious habit just to project their mistrust and control freakness onto the team, and the team will be undermined. And once the team's undermined, they'll start, complaining or being upset or not performing, and that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy for the business owner. So this is why you've got to work with a person's belief systems and emotional patterns as well as strategy. Anyway, I hope you get a lot from that. I love sharing this stuff. It's very different and it's very, very powerful for business owners who want to grow their business in a way that enables them to have way more free time. Anyway, I hope you get a lot from that. See you next time.